G'day guys and girls and welcome to The Amateur Racer, the podcast by amateur racers for amateur racers. So a bit of an interesting week. First up, we're going to start with MotoGP. Lance, we had the spoiler results come in for the new aero rules.
Yeah, so the Court of Appeal or whatever it was against Ducati,
Yeah, whatever it was, yeah.
was finished this week and it's allowed. So we'll see a sea of them.
Yeah, everyone, I don't know if it'll be this week, but everyone's going to be bringing out their weird aero designs for the spoilers or whatever you call it, the spoons.
Yeah, scoops.
Scoops.
Something not on the front fairings.
Yep, and they're not for aero, they're for tyre cooling. Inverted commas there, you can't see them.
You just imagine Gigi in his office like evil little...
Oh, fuck, you would be... If I was Aprilia, I'd be like, how fucking stupid is the guy who does the rules? Danny Aldridge, you'd be like, okay, so we submitted the exact same thing, got denied because we said it did cooling and aero, and Gigi's like, ours only does cooling. That's... So when you think about it, they had no choice but to say, yes, we're allowed to do it because they already said that Ducati could do it.
Yeah.
So they would look like idiots if they didn't approve it.
And I think they want the bikes to become more and more competitive. And as long as everyone's catching up, the racing's still going to be good. So I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah. One thing they got to be wary of is they brought all these new rules in to bring costs down. But now it's just into another cost battle because these tiny little, they'd be getting hundredths of a second per lap or something from it. Probably a better gain over the whole race distance if it does cool the tyres. So how much money are they going to spend on that small part just to get this tiny bit of performance gain?
Yeah, definitely spirals.
Yeah.
Diminishing returns.
Exactly, diminishing returns. That's probably another reason why Aprilia was so against it. I put a post up during the week that they put it in to get their own spoiler done before the season started and it got knocked back. But also they probably won't want it now because of the costs involved because they don't have the money.
But they've already developed it, so they might as well use it now. It's allowed.
Apparently they hadn't fully developed it. They said this is what we've done. We've done all the testing for it.
Okay.
But then they stopped when it got told they couldn't. So you'd think it'd be pretty quick for them to just knock one up though. Something, whether it be good or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As you said, Honda will definitely bring one out soon.
Yeah, the big boys will.
Suzuki
Honda,
will.
Yamaha already have one for rain, so they'll just adapt that.
I wonder why they haven't used one for the dry.
I just hadn't thought about it.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they might not have. That's very viable. Because their one's only a water deflector. Just keeps the rear tyre.
I thought it did the opposite. I thought it caught water to put it onto the rear tyre to help cool it in the rain on the wet tyre.
I have no idea. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Oh, no.
Anyway, they got one. It does something with water. So, hey, look. Anyway, Argentina's this week. It's going to be awesome. I don't know if anyone remembers that last year was absolutely mental.
Yeah, it was like a circus.
Yeah, it was an absolute rock show.
We started out with Miller qualifying on a slick, on a wet track, and winning, like topping it.
Yeah, got pole.
Yeah, and then the fiasco at the start of the race where everyone decided to change tyres.
Yes. And then they didn't start from the back of the grid. They basically started halfway down the grid.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough grid placings.
Yeah.
Marquez stalling it, pushing up the track, riding it in a big circle.
Yeah, riding backwards the wrong way up the circuit, which I was saying to Lance earlier, I'm pretty sure in our racing that is just a straight up black flag.
Yep.
Whereas in GP you're supposed to start from the pit, but he ignored the on track, what would you call them?
Marshal.
Whatever. And just pushed it back into his spot and started the race. And then he got, what did he get? He got a ride through penalty because of that. Then he basically rode like a lunatic.
Yeah, trying to catch back up. And then did he knock Rossi off first?
No, Alex Espargaro first with like the worst move you would ever see.
Yeah.
Alex Espargaro was on the apex, like turning, and Marquez is just like dodge him, card him out of the way.
That's how I play video games. Just
It was exactly like that. Road rash. And then he did the same thing to Rossi.
The Rossi one was, they were at the edge of the track by the time they contacted, didn't they?
No, it was kind of like mid-corner. Like Rossi was turning in, like basically in the middle of the turn, and he's come up the inside and just, knocked him pretty much, and then he wasn't able to hold it when he hit the grass, which was, wet circuit slicks are never going to work on the grass, are they?
No. So yeah, so then you got another one position and a second, or?
So he got for Alex Espargaro, he had to go back one position.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, this is one of the main reasons they've changed it, is because a perfect example is this race. So he's basically knocked Espargaro off the track, forced him to go down however many positions, like a massive amount of time. But he had already passed Morbidelli by the time he got the ruling. So he was like...
So he just dropped behind Morbidelli?
Yeah, he was like one bike length in front of Morbidelli. So he just went just behind Morbidelli and lost, 0.1 of a second?
You probably passed him again next corner.
He literally passed him in the next corner. So that's where the new rule, the long lap rule, is actually really good. So he would have got a 3-second penalty or something depending on the track.
Yeah.
So that's good. Maybe he'll do the same. We'll see the first long lap rule come in.
First time it's actually been enforced.
Yeah, enforced.
Second time someone's done it.
Fanardi, that's right. What an idiot. Hilarious. Not good for my tipping, but whatever. It wouldn't be Fanardi if there wasn't something stupid going on.
Yeah.
Alright, so another thing that's going to be big is, I think, the tyres this weekend.
Yeah, well, tyres are the most important part of the decision before a race for all the teams, basically. Things like Michelin's trying a different thing for Argentina.
Yeah, the first time ever they're going to have all asymmetric compounds, so soft, medium and hard are all going to be asymmetric for this track.
So what have they done previously that only the soft was asymmetric, or?
I think they have it's a separate compound altogether. Like it'll take out a medium and they'll have the asymmetric or vice versa.
Okay.
So
basically that was the race tyre, then you have soft for qualifying and hard for other people.
Yeah, that's if they want to use it. Some people don't like it, so they just won't use it. Because I think it has 9, I want to say left and 3 right for here. So that's another reason it might suit Marquez's track, because he's a dirt tracker.
Likes going left.
And likes going left. Same with Circuit of the Americas. I think that's all left.
Lorenzo's likes going left too.
Yeah. So we'll see how they go. It's really hard on tyres, Argentina. The reasons being it's the style of the track. And also, apparently it's a really abrasive surface, kind of like Phillip Island. So they just chew up the rears.
It seems to have pretty crazy weather, so the hot and cold doesn't help the guys get their setup.
Yeah, exactly. So, you checked the weather for this one, didn't you?
Yes, I just checked it before. It's currently forecast to rain Saturday afternoon, but probably after qualifying. But that could change.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday is on and off. It's supposed to rain at lunchtime, be pretty fine at 3 o'clock, and then rain again at 6 o'clock. So, who knows what the race will be.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be like last year where that's why it was such a schmozzle. It was wet, only middle of started on slicks, so everyone went and changed tyres.
Yeah, and it was drying so quickly. But yeah, it could be the same. It could either rain halfway through the race, or it could be a drying, changing surface, which always makes it hard for the races.
And I do actually really like the flag races where they can change bikes.
Yeah, the only thing is Marquez wins all of them because he's just better at that strategy.
Yeah, him and his team just have it dialed. Hopefully Rossi now, he's got the screen, he will actually change when he's supposed to change. When it tells him when to change bikes. Usually he just keeps riding around. He's like, I want to be in front of Marquez, it looks like, or Lorenzo, and just keeps riding.
And then is fucked.
And everyone else is pitted.
yeah.
So he's too late. So I suppose we better make our predictions. Start off at the bottom.
Yep, so we'll start with Moto3. I'm going to go back Della Porta again. He's consistently good on the little bike.
Yeah, he was solid last round too. All weekend he was strong.
Yeah.
I think the Leopard guys as well, that team.
Leopard?
Leopard, sorry. Yeah, we went through this last team. I'm guessing it's Spanish. Leopard.
I thought everyone was Spanish.
Yeah, I'm going to call him Leopard out of principle. So I'm going to go Fanardi again.
Yep.
Let's do it, buddy.
Yeah. It'll be something exciting will happen for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely going to stuff up. It's going to be great. All right, Moto 2.
Moto 2, I'm going to go Gardner. Go for the Aussie. He did really well last time.
He did awesome. I was cheering when I was watching that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough one. I I want to go Luthi, but I'm not going to go the same as I did last week. So I'm going to go Lowe's.
Lowe's, that's a solid choice.
It feels bad because he's so inconsistent.
Well, he was consistently bad.
Yes, that is one way to say it, yeah.
So hopefully he's now consistently good.
Yeah, let's see. It looks pretty solid last week.
Yeah, maybe the bit more power suits him.
Yeah, different riding style for him, so I'm going to go with him. It's pretty even choices, I think. Like, we could have went, Boulder Starry or Luthi, but we went the bit of left field.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Moto2, we've got a rule, because I think Marquez is going to win by a mile.
But I think that's the boring choice.
Yes, so we're not going to choose Marquez, right?
For GP.
For GP.
Yep.
All right, so
all season.
All season. Okay, all right. So, and you can't choose him. Definitely not for Circuit of Americas.
Yeah. That's just...
All right, so we're basically... I think we're going to be choosing...
It's like picking second.
We're picking second here. Oh, man.
Yeah, GP's the hard one.
Argentina.
Should we go start with rookies?
All right, rookies. Yep.
All right, you go first.
Oh, don't put me on the spot like this. Who did I go last round?
Quartararo.
I'm going him again.
Yep.
He had a shocker. He stalled it.
Yeah, he didn't go well. I'm gonna go Bagnara again, I think.
Okay.
He had a real shocker.
Yeah.
DNF.
We're keeping the faith. Mir was really... he looked
Mir.
really good, though.
Yeah, I forgot about Mir.
Nah, I've chosen it. I'm not changing.
Yeah, we'll stick with it.
But Mir looked... One of the things that's so impressive about Mir is he was duking it out. Like, he was actually just going for it.
Yeah, he was really in there battling with some of the bigger names.
First race you ever do on a GP bike, it was impressive. So, I'm going Quartararo, but I would not be surprised to see Mir do really well again.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. He was
So,
8th last time.
That's awesome. Considering how strong MotoGP now is, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, if you're placing, you're doing awesome.
Yeah, look at the names he beat, like Iannone, Zarco.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, not full health though. But
still beat him.
Yeah.
Like, Nakagami, he's been riding really well too, so... and he was our pick for... Was it for the satellite winner of the year?
Yeah.
He's our pick after Crutchlow and Miller.
After the factory satellites.
Yeah. Which don't really count.
Yeah.
Well, look, they do, but
All
real satellite rider.
So then race win.
That isn't Marquez.
Yeah.
Last year was... it was so hard last year because it was wet and drying, and Crutchlow won, but there was like a group of 4 that were really tight.
Yep.
The whole race. It was him, Miller, Rins, and Dobby, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to say Dobby. I feel bad saying Dobby. Like, I'm not going to choose Dobby. Nah, I'm going Rins.
Going Rins. He was probably one of my picks. Ooh.
It could be anyone. Like,
yeah.
It's a.
And it's also a game like, is it going to be wet?
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's good in the wet?
Petrucci.
Yeah, I was thinking Petrucci.
Dobby. Rossi. Miller.
Oh, Rossi's going to qualify like 12th and then somehow get 4th again.
Yeah. Unless he starts qualifying well, he's not going to be up there.
Yeah, no.
Who else? Cal's pretty good in the wet.
Yeah. Let's go with Cal.
All right.
I'm going to give Cal a run. He won last year and the bike's better and better and he's getting fitter and so...
Yeah. All right, so I went Rins, you went Cal.
Yep.
And what's the tally so far?
So after round 1, the scores are Curtis is in the lead at 31 points.
Yes.
And then I'm 36 points, so pretty close.
All right.
Yeah.
So we went a bit at some random picks this week, so it could...
Yeah.
We could have just went Marquez and Dobby, but that's boring.
Yeah.
That'd be a boring tipping comp. Are you the ultimate amateur racer? Do you want to chop your mates up the inside at practice with an unnecessarily aggressive block pass while laughing in your helmet? Of course you do. And that's why you need On the Back Wheel knee sliders. On the back wheel, knee sliders are so smooth they take you straight into her DMs. They wear slower than that rich guy rides his brand new leader bike. On the back wheel knee sliders, buy them off eBay or Facebook.
So we just had on the weekend also the second round of the Australian Superbike Championship at Wakefield Park. And what a good weekend of racing.
It was really good racing. It was a mad little track.
Yeah, it's like a go-kart track.
It was so narrow.
So narrow, so bumpy. It's only the lap record's a 57-second lap, so it's tiny.
Yeah, and they broke that in the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah. I think in every class a record got broken.
Which was insane.
It means every time there's a crash, it's nearly always a red flag, because they just can't clean it up quick enough.
And my favourite bit, I think, was how on the main straight, let's call it the main straight, it was like 200 metres, the pit wall is right next to the corner exit.
Yeah, and then Curtis didn't see it by showing a picture. Ted Collins sent his BMW up over the wall on Friday afternoon.
The picture was insane. You guys have got to look at it. It was crazy.
It's on the Next Gen Motorsport Facebook page. But yeah, the people in those end pit garages were probably scared because the bike would have been flying.
Ducking for cover. Raining debris.
Somehow they put the bike back together and he raced it though.
That was a good effort looking at that photo because it looked like it would have been a very second-hand bike.
Yeah. But we had one of the other, I guess the higher profile crashes on the weekend was Aiden Wagner.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I was hoping he'd win this year.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. He was in there fighting hard to show what he has, get himself sorted for the future, and he just got balked by the marshal letting riders out.
Yeah, from what I was reading, he wasn't too happy, so he said that he was coming down the straight and they let riders out.
Let 5 riders out in front of him.
So, and he couldn't really pull up in time and just unsettled him a bit.
I saw he said that the choice was crash into them or crash himself, so he just crashed.
Yeah, so understandably pissed off.
200 plus, the bike was ruined, like the tank was gone, the whole rear subframe was gone.
I saw they got the other bike together, but he went out for the warm up and was just like, nah. I think he even did the siding lap.
They started the race.
He started the race.
And he got 3 laps in and then braking, it dislocated his shoulder. So his shoulder, he's had pre-existing injuries from previous crashes in his career, and this just upset it that bad again. He said it would wake up during the night with it dislocated, and then just braking into turn 1 was enough to pop it back out in the race. So he was booked in for shoulder reconstruction surgery early this week, as of Saturday afternoon.
So his season to be done.
Yeah, so he might be back at the end of the year, testing for next year.
It's a shame.
Yeah. But hopefully we have reached out to Aiden to see if we can have an interview with him. That was prior to this accident, so hopefully he is still keen to do that. And
yeah, I hope he has a good recovery as well.
Yeah, gets himself healthy quickly, and picking macadamia nuts on his family's farm might help.
Strengthen the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
I posted a picture of his bike to our page, and someone's like, "Oh, what an appropriate sticker because it said Wagner soil testing." So he definitely tested the quality of the Wakefield Park soil.
Put some serious divots in it, that's for sure. Well, hopefully he comes back and be able to watch him ride and punting people off the track.
Yeah. Maxwell didn't even get back at him yet, so we still have...
there's some unfinished business there. And what's better that I saw the promos, and Lance just saw it before, is they had like... Maxwell came up to him after the race and said, "I've got a very long memory."
Yeah. What do you call him? The elephant?
The elephant. So he's now Wayne the Elephant Maxwell. It was like a very thinly veiled threat, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, I'm going to fuck you up, son.
Yeah.
You better watch out.
I'm going to wait till you don't expect it anymore. And then...
Yeah. He's probably like, yes, someone else made him crash, but disappointing, I didn't do it.
Yeah. On to the guys that finished the races, I guess.
Yep.
So we got Herfoss won everything, as he should have. Home track.
Yeah, you predicted it too.
Yep. So...
Just never lost their brand there now.
No.
Still.
We had the boy... Yamaha guys were really strong. Crew Halliday was flying.
Yeah, he looked really good this weekend.
He's got back on the R1 after being on the R6 last year, and looks like it's helped his riding, if anything, moving that year on the smaller bike.
So, just rewatching it, he's a bit weaker at the end of the race, I saw. Like, he was trying to manage his tyres. But he definitely had the pace, like breaking the lap record multiple times throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I think Herfoss got the record over him in the end,
Mm.
but he did halt at a couple points, had it.
And those guys were pushing.
Yeah, and then we had...
They were really riding hard.
Right behind them was Wayne Maxwell, the Elephant, and Mad Mike Jones. And
yeah, he had a good weekend.
Yeah, Mad Mike had a great weekend, considering it's a bike he hasn't been riding.
Yeah, so he would have been half the weekend, or more than half the weekend, just setting it up and getting it all sorted.
He did the test, but yeah, it's still not his bike. And
It's just a crazy little circuit. Like, setting up for the bumps would have been tough work for the mechanics, because it would have had to be supple at the start to not upset the bike, but still keep that stiffness. So
yeah,
it would have been a shitter job.
Watching them go mid-corner sometimes, the front's just chattering across the ground. Like,
I'm surprised there wasn't more front-end crashes.
Yeah, I heard an interview that it's like half of it's learning the track, but the other half of it's like learning the line that avoids the bumps more than learning the racing line.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily the ideal line for a track of that shape.
Yeah. So it's not what you would think is fastest.
Yep.
Necessarily. So I saw Jones. He pretty much had the pace all weekend, but I think the first race he got stuck a bit behind some of the guys. I think it was Josh Waters.
Yeah, because Josh had he's recovering from injury from he crashed at the test at Wakefield.
He still looked quick, but you could see that Mike was faster, and then the lead group got away and he just couldn't quite catch up.
Yeah.
I was thinking the second race he was up there a bit and ended up getting third.
He was in third, and he was catching Crew Halliday and Herfoss in the front, but the race was red flagged after Lachlan Epps sent himself into orbit.
Yeah, I think he was okay. Like, I don't think he's too badly injured.
He's posting on Instagram, so...
Yeah. If you post on Instagram, you're going alright.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I got a broken leg. I'm alright. You're on the green whistle.
Yep.
It was good. I really liked watching it, and the coverage was actually really good. They had some good camera shots. I think he said it was probably up on a scissor lift or something.
Yeah, like some elevated platform.
Following them come out of the corners. That looked great. There's some good shots. So it's good to see. It's just, I found it so basically funny that we're coming from Phillip Island, this one of the best tracks in the world, so scenic, then go on the Wakefield Park.
Yeah, a go-kart track at Goulburn.
Yeah, it's just so narrow as well, which is definitely not a car track. But I kind of appreciate it as well, because you're going to these proper local Australian tracks.
Yeah, and I guess BSB do the same thing. They go to all the small UK tracks.
Yeah, it's very similar, where they got these crazy tracks, and we've got them as well. It's awesome to watch, and it's variety.
Yeah, and you'd call Morgan Park would be in the same category of, it's like in the country, small track.
Yeah.
Crazy bumps mid-corner.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But they provide awesome race. I'd say Morgan Park's better racing. More chances to pass.
Yeah, then compared to Wakefield.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
And it's different because the bike setup would have to be so much different. Because Phillip Island, they would have been like tapping out 310 or something like that.
Yeah, it's all high speed. There's only like two medium speed corners.
Honda corner and what's the next slowest corner? Maybe MG, yeah.
Yeah.
All the rest are fast.
Yeah. And then probably the fastest point on track at Wakefield is like mid-corner speed at Phillip Island.
Yeah. But that turn one at Wakefield is quick. Like, it looks quick.
It looks like somewhat of a kink. Like, they slow down a bit, but they're kind of braking through turn one to slow down enough for turn two.
Which, I'm surprised there wasn't, as I said, more front-end washouts there, because they got the bumps, the under brakes, and turning.
Yeah.
So, it was a cool track. I liked it. Just a big contrast.
Yeah.
But it looked like a good spot as well, like, as you said, right in the countryside.
So then we got
600s.
Yeah, 600s. Super Sports. Wasn't as... We were predicting a Tom Taparis show, which it was. He still won everything, like record, qualified pole.
Yeah, he looked pretty comfortable.
But the boys were really... They're starting to catch up, and they're going to start pushing him. So we have Brock Pearson, Reed Beatty, and Ollie Bayliss all made a big step forward, and they were all sort of battling for the front.
Especially Brock. Brock was actually pushing Tom a lot more than he was at Phillip Island.
Yeah, he was catching him at the end of the races as well.
He looked really good in that Yamaha.
Yeah, and then you had Reed on a Jigsaw, which I wouldn't have predicted anything but that one to be top 5.
It looked...
6, sorry.
Yeah, it looked like just like a
It was an
big
older.
bike as well.
I think it was like an older model too. Like it's not the newest one.
No, it looks like it's got that wide fairing at the front, especially compared to the
So it's like a
R6s that are all so streamlined now.
maybe like an 08 or 07 or
Yeah.
something.
I suppose, look, 600s haven't really changed in a long time, so
Even the R6 is the same chassis. It's just styling changes.
styling and
Electronics.
that's it. One thing about Reed was his riding style. I was watching it going, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
He's got this... It's unique.
We couldn't
He's
work
fast,
out
though.
if it was the way he sat on the bike or the way the shape of the bike was, though. Because it looked like he was sitting into the bike a lot more.
Yeah,
because of the shape
having
of the
ridden
tail unit.
Gixxers, you are lower
So the seat is lower.
than an R6. R6 is like you're sitting on top of the bike.
Yep.
But even then, he was like laying on the tank with his face. And he's like tucked in.
It's like a Moto3 rider.
Yeah, I was like, is he small? And I was watching him like, he doesn't look like a small dude. Like, look like a normal kind of guy. And then he'd turn, and he's basically just moving his head from the tank down to the side of the tank. It's interesting, but he was fast.
Yeah, he was
doing really well. So, hey, whatever works, dude. Keep doing it. 300s.
Yeah, so we have Maxi Stauffer.
Yeah, he looked strong.
Won the round.
Yeah, he looked
Again.
really strong. I did a bit of a last-ditch pass.
Johnny Littrus won a race or two.
Mm-hmm. He won the one. He did the pass up the inside.
Yeah, at the end.
At the end. It was good racing, though. It was really competitive. The Queensland boys did pretty well.
Yeah,
and girls.
They all finished pretty close together. So we had Kyle O'Connell and Mitch Kuhn in the middle.
Yep.
A bit
Crump.
ahead of them. You had Crump, Hall, Senna, and Lockie Taylor.
Yep. Lockie Taylor's a fast rider.
Those five were sort of top 8, top 10, and then the other boys were sort of 15th.
Yeah, which is a good effort because 300s it's fucking competitive.
Yeah, like sometimes the top 12 come around the last corner together.
Yeah.
So it's just tight. There was a bit of controversy going around social media this week about the Ninja 400 rules.
Yeah, you're saying they're at a disadvantage.
Yes, the rules are there
capacity, but
to try and make it so they can't ride away from everyone else. But they've got to stick with standard suspension, and they've lost 3,000 RPM, which just means that they can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And people were calling out rider safety because the standard suspension just doesn't keep up. Like, that's not...
On that track, it would have been just the worst.
And not even for probably that track, but even like a pretty average rider can outride standard suspension on a track.
Yeah, suspension is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
For any track rider, let alone on a 300 where the power differences are stuff all.
Yeah, and then they're all corner speeds. So that mid-corner load would be...
Yeah, which then affects your tyre wear and how your tyres are reacting. And we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep it even. And it seemed like at Phillip Island, it was more even than it was at Wakefield.
Yep.
So you'd think it would hurt them more on the bigger track, but this maybe the smooth surface and more flowing track.
Yeah, the suspension hasn't been worked as much. Mid-corner bumps. Could be also like, because they're taking revs off top, they're running that taller gearing, they can use a bit more of the torque. Maybe. If there is, I don't know, because they would have had a pretty short gearing for Wakefield, because they wouldn't have got into top gear, I don't think.
No,
3 and 400
really short.
Would have been close, but definitely not the big boys. They would have been like fourth.
Yeah, like they would have been. I think the superbikes would have probably spent most of their lap in second.
Yeah, second, third on some of the short straights, then up to fourth on the main straight. But yeah, we'll see what they do. Hopefully, it gets competitive. Look like a lot of R3s up there,
which is what it's been pretty consistent for the last few years. That the R3s always do well. A lot of the guys ride them because they can also race the R3 Cup, so they get more track time. That's more practice, more setup.
That's classic amateur racer.
Yeah.
So what bike can I ride in the most classes and get my value for money out of?
Yeah.
That's why you do it.
Yeah, my bike turns the cylinder off into a 450, and I race against the little fellas.
Yeah. What is it? F3?
F3, yeah.
F3, yeah.
It's great fun. It's nearly more fun.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be mad not to, really. Oh. But also we had the little fellas.
Yeah, the first round of the Oceania Juniors, on the R15. So these kids, they were kitted out well, so their parents pay whatever the fee is for the year, and
Yeah.
the kids get bike, custom leathers. Their leathers all look the same, supplied by Racondi, which is always great gear. AGV helmet. They get like pit boards and tires. They get coaching.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great setup to get kids up and going into the sport and into the more professional levels of the sport rather than racing on go-kart tracks.
Yeah, it did look, and they were going for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was all slipstream.
Yeah, look, the R15s aren't fast.
No, but they're learning, so I guess it's fine.
But some of these guys are like 11. It's been bloody fast for an 11-year-old, I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah,
because they were still punting it down the straights, and their racing was competitive.
They were tight. They were passing each other constantly. It was really good racing. I think they're only going to get better as well.
Yeah,
as they get more confident.
And it'd be good to see them at next races and keep an eye on them as well to see how they go, see how the progression is. No, they'll improve massively.
Yeah, I think I saw Andrew from Racondi commented the Phillip Island test earlier in the year when they were there. First session on these bikes, and the kids came back with rubber on their leathers from rubbing tyres on each other's arms and stuff. So
they're giving it a crack then.
Yeah, they're really going to get at it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to that actually. It's good to watch. Good on them.
So I think the winner was Thompson for the round.
Those first couple of guys were really close, weren't they?
There's 3 off, I think, and there was like 4 guys in a group.
Yeah.
But Thompson was for all the races on the weekend, and qualifying was up the front. I don't know who he is, but maybe it'll be a name we see more in the future.
Yeah, definitely the up and comers. Some was probably the first time they've really raced.
Yes,
because there's been a bit of an age. You had to be of a certain age to race in Australia, didn't you? Road racing, so
you probably still do, but I guess 11 is the age, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good avenue for them, and we'll see where it goes. Well, on to beer of the week, Lance. What have we got this week?
This week we have the Pirate Life Throwback IPA.
Yeah, it's actually it's a mid-strength. I think it's 3.5%.
A little bit stronger than that, but yeah, it's not a full strength IPA.
And it's actually got surprisingly bitter taste for a session kind of beer, which you don't expect usually.
Yeah, I agree, but it's still, for how bitter it is, it's still really easy to drink and delicious.
Yeah, pretty good. How much was it?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I bought it weeks ago.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you got a comment. Pirate Life has sold out. They're not independent anymore. But still, pretty good beers. I always found what was their normal? The Blue Can IPA.
Yep.
I thought they were too expensive for what you're getting. Like, they were a good beer. I liked them, but $30 a 6-pack? Bit much. I think these are a fair bit cheaper from what I've seen.
Or not a whole lot. They weren't. They were still
really?
20-some, high 20s, I think.
Yeah. Which is probably an issue for me because you get like a Newstead. You get a 4-pack for $15.
Yeah, the local brewery is always a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
which is, and you'd think being bought out they'd be cheaper, but there's not many.
It just means they can make more.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger fucking company behind them. There's not many mid-strengths that taste as good though, I'd say.
No, usually the mid-strengths are a little bit bland.
Yeah, whereas this got that nice bitter taste to it, which I really like. I really like IPAs.
Yep.
Which I like.
I think she's a winner.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to drive and have a few beers, I think this would be the go-to. The can said it was 1 standard drink. So, a bit better than I think one I had the other night was 2.9 per can. So, you're not fucking driving if you're having one of those bad boys.
No.
Yeah. Alright, I like it. It's good.
Yeah. So now for our final segment of the podcast, we have Ask Tar, Ask the Amateur Racer. And we've got some cracking questions this week.
Yeah, the first one is a doozy, and it kind of flows on from the Oceania Cup topic we're just talking about, so we'll get into it.
Yep, so Christopher Rowe asked, why is there no Australians in World Superbike or World Supersport, considering we have so many past champions? And will we ever dominate these championships again in the future with our current pathways for our riders?
It's a stupidly good question, to be honest. Well, we've made up a list, basically. We've had a big think about it because there's so much to talk about with it. First thing is money.
Yeah, like from Australia, it's expensive to go racing in Europe, where the feeders into the World Superbike or MotoGP field really are. we have a disadvantage to other parts of the world in that aspect.
Exactly.
I think the Asia Talent Cup has been closing that gap a little bit.
Yeah.
But even to go racing Asia Talent Cup is expensive from Australia.
Yeah, so I was actually talking to a racer a few months ago, and he's based in Australia now. He used to live in Europe. For him to get a race in Australia, no, overseas, they have to pay for your flights and everything to get over there, and most teams just aren't willing to do it for one. It's too much money. A flight, if you're going to book it like a week later, it's going to be like 2-3 grand return.
Yep.
They're just not going to do it when they can get someone straight from a local town in Europe or something like that for one.
I mean, yeah, when you're doing it for 10 rounds a year, that's a lot of their budget.
Yeah, you've got to live in Europe if you want to make it pretty much in this superbike kind of field.
Yep.
Or at least in the UK and do BSB. Another thing, passport's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's just, if you got a European passport, it's a free ticket throughout the whole EU.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to worry about all these visas and shit like that. You could just float around, go to races in different countries, and it's not an issue.
I think the next one is sort of our junior pathways. So until recently, a lot of the Australian championships and especially the juniors riding has been sort of that GP bike base, more about Moto3s, the Milwaukee 80s.
Stupidly expensive.
So that comes back to money as well, even to race locally to get your name out there. But it's harder for then people to see your talent on a superbike.
Yeah.
See how you're going to adapt to a production race bike.
They're a completely different style of bike of riding as well. Like now we're getting, which is good, we got the 150s.
The Oceania Junior Cup is great for this, building talent.
Yeah, it is absolutely perfect. And you just said something that MotoGP posted about the one on the weekend.
Yeah, so MotoGP posted an article about Thompson winning the first round of the Oceania Junior Cup this weekend. So they're obviously they're looking at it as from a...
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That really is. It's just something you wouldn't expect. So I know in like state titles stuff in South Australia, they got the 150s, which is a big pathway. You're getting like 14 to 15-year-olds riding them. And then they move on to the 300s. Now, I think the 300s, it's only really the past few years it's come along Australia, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the last maybe 3 to 4 years it's really been strong with the Supersport 300 race field.
Yeah, which is a stepping stone into 600s and then consequently thousands.
Yep.
So another thing I've seen coming along the last couple of years was Moto Stars, which is kind of the little smaller capacity bikes like 80s, 150s and Supermotos.
Yeah, I think 300s are allowed there as well on the sort of the go-kart track rounds.
It seems to be really popular, and it's that like a really good setup they've got going on.
Yeah, I think it's also good that a lot of them are like regional towns and stuff, so it's getting people involved that may not potentially because they're not near a bigger track.
And I think the prices are pretty reasonable, so that's going to bring more riders in and hopefully nurture that bit more talent.
Yep, definitely.
So we have actually had a few people that are or have been racing in the top tiers, haven't we?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot lately. So if you're not aware of them, it's probably a good chance to get your support behind them.
So the last couple of years we had Mike Jones riding the World Superstock team for the Aruba IT team.
Yeah, that was in 2017, and last year he raced the Spanish Superbike Championship. So
he was pretty much knocking on the door like that. Those are a stepping stone into WSBK. Yeah, well, his teammate Michael Ruben Rinaldi is now a full-time world superbike racer. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what happened there, but he's come back to Australia for whatever. Maybe that Rinaldi was doing just as well, I think. Yeah, I think he's Italian. And he's Italian. Italian, Ducati, Aruba is an Italian team as well. We've had Ant West, who has done really well. He's been very inconsistent and is now suspended. Yeah, for drugs, or he denies it. He's fighting them. But he's racing in Brazil now, Brazilian Superbike Championship, because they're not controlled by the FIM. No, dodgy there. So look, Ant West has always had the talent, but he just never got it together for whatever. I don't think this is his first drug suspension either, is it? No, it's not. And he's a pretty polarizing character. A lot of people don't like him. Yeah, look, so. I don't know. I don't know enough about him, but I stopped following his Facebook because it was pretty painful. Just a bit of whinging, it seemed like, and not enough riding to me. Yeah, or selling or seeking championships. He's trying to sell people rides and stuff, so... Yeah. In terms of upcoming talent, we actually do have a fair few. They're very young. We don't have people up there now, but we've got Tom to Paris.
Yep, so Tom's doing double duties this year with Australian Superbike, Super Sports on the 600, which he is going to win.
Yeah, he's just been smoking him.
And he's also racing in Europe. So he's flying back and forth constantly, commuting, basically.
I would say he is our next big hope.
Yeah. He also raced a few rounds for various World Supersport 300 teams last year for filling in when riders were injured. And
Yep.
The other
Who
one
else we got?
Tom Edwards is full-time World Supersport 300.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jack Hyde is full-time World Supersport 300. And we have Tom Bramage, who was the Australian Supersport 300 championship winner last year. He's full-time World Supersport this year, 300. So there's plenty of guys in there that hopefully get the leg up and can keep going because they've all got talent.
And we had Aidan Wagner, who's come back. He was in World Supersport last year.
And the year before.
And doing well. He just, I don't know, he just couldn't hold a team or what the go was. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he was, didn't gel with the team he had. He only did half a season both years.
Yeah, which is always hard.
Yeah, and then Lachlan Eppers, I think, is a similar scenario. Jumped from team to team over years, didn't do whole seasons with the team, so didn't get what they thought they were getting from the team when they sort of accepted the offers.
Yep.
But they were both doing World Australian Superbikes this year, so...
Yeah. So, another thing I can think of is Australian Superbikes went through a period in the last 5 to 10 years where it honestly wasn't as strong as it was.
Yeah, 4 years ago, the championship was pretty dead.
Yeah, that it was split for one, and both weren't as well publicised as a result, and it's nowhere near as strong as it is this year. This year it's back to how it used to be, mid-90s kind of thing. And hopefully that will make the riders better and stronger.
It also gets their profile out there so they can look for these rides overseas and get more experience and get in front of more people to move to British Superbikes or World Superbikes or anything else outside of Australia.
And I think that's one of the big reasons they brought Troy Bayliss back as well, just for that. He's a known guy. He was our last champion, World Superbike champion.
His presence brings a lot of excitement from overseas.
Exactly. So. And he's known. He's won MotoGP race. He's just one of those guys that everyone loves and knows. So he's going to bring popularity to it.
Yeah, so he's also great to watch. When I went out last year and watched him, and he is on the edge. He's either knee down turn or he's wheeling. Yeah. There's nothing in between. Where a lot of the other riders, like the Herfoth, he's super smooth, and that contrast makes the racing exciting.
So to answer why there are none at the moment, lack of money. Well, you need more money, so teams don't want to sponsor you. Our junior pathways haven't been as strong, but now I think it is turning around, hey?
Yeah, and compared to a lot of other countries, Australia does really well. Michael van der Mark last year was the first Dutch Superbike race winner ever.
Yes.
So that we've had multiple champions before now.
And in Spain and Italy, these kids are riding the mini motos from 5 years old. It is a huge thing at that age.
Yeah, so I've seen videos like Marco Simoncelli in a car park with his dad on a mini moto, just fanging around. Yeah,
exactly. When we think of our past champions in World Superbikes, they come from, Troy Bayliss, dirt track. Casey Stoner's MotoGP, dirt track.
Yeah.
Chris Vermeulen, he was just a straight up Superbike rider and MotoGP rider, and he did really well. He got a second in the championship before he moved up to MotoGP.
Gary McCoy, not that he won a championship, but he was dirt track.
Yep. Casey Stoner was massive dirt track rider, but he moved straight to Europe when he was young.
Which is what Jack Miller did.
Yeah. I think that's one of the keys, is getting to Europe. And hopefully we, now for these pathways we got, we can get stronger riders. We don't have to go to Europe to be as strong.
Or people will help fund that journey for the guys.
Yeah. We get these stronger teams and the pathways we got. So to answer it, I think we will get those races up there. It just, for the reasons we said, we haven't had them for a few years. Alright, the next thing we got is Stuart Collins has asked us some product reviews would be good. Both Lance and I have used a lot of different products. I think one of the most common things is lap timers, and Lance has got big experience with the speed angles, don't you, Lance?
Yeah, so I've got a speed angle Apex I've had for a couple of years, and it is great. Like I was looking at a few different options.
Yep.
And the speed angle is on the more expensive end. It's not the most expensive, but it is really good. And with the call was between myself and my wife was, just get the speed angle, do it once, do it properly, it'll do you forever.
Yeah.
So I got that. It is awesome. The battery lasts all day.
What kind of battery does it have?
It just recharges through the USB cable.
Mm-hmm.
The firmware is really well supported. They've had a couple of updates that have made it even easier to use. Originally, you'd turn on it would find the track you're at, and then you select it. But sometimes if you didn't, it would go into the auto set mode, and it would not record for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
One time I got like a 15-minute one-lap session because I wasn't quite on the same line. But now the new firmware, you can select the track you're at before you get there. They're all preloaded, and it just uses that straight away.
All the major tracks in Australia on the speed angle, isn't it?
Yeah, and overseas, like there's hundreds of them on there.
Yep. So it's well supported.
Yep.
What's the price like?
The prices, I think they're like $450 now or $550.
Yep.
I might have to check that. I think it's $450 Australian dollars.
So it's not cheap, but getting a good product though. Yep.
The screen you can set the screen up to multiple views.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally use a view that gives me the lap time so far with sector times, but I don't use the sectors as much. But down the bottom, it's got a bar that tells you if you're faster or slower than your best lap so far that session.
Oh, that's good.
I never looked at it, and I actually put it onto no distraction mode, so it's a blank screen.
Yeah.
But more recently, as I've been becoming a better rider, I've started using it and looking at it, and I use the bar to tell me as I'm coming into like sort of like 2/3 track distance, lap distance, like if I'm going well or not, or how hard to push for the rest of the lap, or just, especially on like a track day or a qualifying session, just sort of cruise the rest of the lap and then go for it next lap again.
Yeah, if you know you're going a slow lap, you're just pushing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Set it up for the next lap.
Yeah. The biggest selling point for me for the speed angles after that was then the data it holds. So every session is saved as like a data acquisition data logger. You plug into your laptop and or your computer, and you can import that file, and you can review your sessions. So you can review like best laps from different sessions. You can compare a fast lap to a slow lap. It will show you your racing line, your speed, and your lean angle at any point, as well as if you're braking or accelerating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good for going, okay, so this lap I was faster through sector 1, or this corner, say. And you can say, what was I doing differently to what I usually do?
So you could sync that up with your GoPro even.
Yep, and you can also sync that telemetry up to and overlay it over footage. So I've got a video I can share onto our Facebook page that I've done that.
Yep.
Everyone gets like a 4-minute view of my ass.
Nice.
Yep. But it's really easy to use, and it's really handy. And it depends what type of learner you are. So I like to do research and like to review data, and it links into what I do for work, the data, and it really helps me look at where I can do better. I've also lent the lap timer to other guys that are a bit faster than me, and then looked at their data compared to mine.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How do you look that up? You just ask them for it, or can you look it up online?
Well, I lent them my lap timer.
Okay.
So they put so I gave it to Kyle O'Connell, who's racing Australian Superbike 300s this year.
Yep.
And he on his 300s quicker than me on my 600,
mm-hmm.
and he did a couple sessions, and
so you can look at what lines he's doing,
his corner speed and stuff. Like, I know it's different because it's on a different bike, but I was that far off for the peak of my bike type of thing.
Yeah. You can see what lines are you taking. How can I be faster?
Yeah.
So I know one of the other guys have shared it. They've shared it on Facebook and stuff to us and sent it to us. It actually does an overlay through the track, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
like a little video. You
can do an overview. Yeah, so when you put it in the speed angle software, it shows you the track line, and then it also shows you all your racing lines. So you can, if you're zoomed out, you can see lap versus lap where you're getting ahead, or you can play them all side by side.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can you can actually look and go, that line's quicker. I should actually do that line for that section or corner. Yep.
I think it's also
join
good
them together
to look at your consistency. So I'm a fairly consistent rider, so all my lines are on top of each other. But other people, if your lines are all over the place, you need to say, okay, I need to back off, not think about going fast, but think about hitting my marks, because that consistency is what then helps you improve.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's what they say. Like, if you basically, to learn, you have to consistently do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, so when you change something, you can measure what difference it's made.
Exactly. That's exactly, and this kind of shows you what to do with that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I wouldn't buy anything else myself.
What other brands are there?
So there's the Quartz one, which is like there's one that's a lap timer, and it doesn't do the data, but does a lot of the other stuff the same.
Mm-hmm.
My mate Dwayne has one of those, and it's good for a lap timer.
Yeah, if you just want to know what lap times you're doing, the speed angle is probably not for you.
Yeah, it's like the speed angle's like, yeah, you got to go to, if you want that bit more information in the video overlay.
If you're starting to get a bit more serious, you want to do some amateur racing and improve.
Yeah. There's also the cheapest option. You can get ones off eBay that are like little infrared ones that just give you a lap time. You put a beam on the pit wall somewhere.
Oh yeah,
and every time you go past it resets. They're only you can get them for less than $40.
Yeah.
So they just give you a time. Then in between you kind of get, you can use phone apps, but they're not very reliable or accurate because the phone GPS isn't as good. But you can get Bluetooth GPS senders that are 30 megahertz, which is the same as the speed angle in terms of how many times it checks in with the satellite your location.
Okay.
And then you can link that with your phone to get a more accurate time as well. But
doesn't sound like it's going to be as accurate as speed angle though, is it?
I don't think it'd be as good in terms of knowing where the track is and knowing where the start finish line is, because can be part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. But I think we'll continue doing these reviews. Maybe
definitely
one product each week. We'll fit it into our episode somewhere.
Yeah, because there's tyre warmers, race fairing, tyres are probably a huge one. We've had a bit of experience with tyres.
Bit of suspension I've got.
Yeah.
So we'll work through the products we've purchased, our leathers, our helmets.
Yep. And if there's anything you want to do, just ask us and we'll try and review them as well.
Yep. You can also look at Curtis's other sort of platform on the back wheel. He's got a lot of gear reviews on there in terms of leathers, helmets, gloves, boots.
Yeah, heaps of local stuff from like Shark and Recondi and that.
Not so much track focused, but some of it is.
Yeah, but we'll definitely do tracks focused stuff on this podcast. All right, that's probably about it, eh?
Yes, I think that's what we got for this week. We'll
Thanks for your questions. Just keep sending them in. That first one was an absolute pearler. So hopefully we answered it as best as we could. It might be a bit rambly, but there was a lot to actually speak about because it's such a good question.
And it's also we're kind of theorising what we think it is and what we've observed.
Yeah, could be complete bullshit. It could just be that.
We're just two blokes with old Hondas that ride around in circles for fun.
Well, another thing I was thinking, Australia has, for our population size, we get fucking good motorcycle riders. Just think who we got at the moment. Jack Miller's one of the top riders now in MotoGP. If he's on a factory bike, he's already up to pointy end, but he'd be even further. We got Toby Price, who's one of the best motorcyclists in the world of any class. So we're still up there. Just in
motocross, the guys are really good at motocross too.
Yeah, we are really good at motocross. I saw at the Motocross Destinations, we got 4th, I think. We smashed the US. So we have the talent. It's just maybe they've also gone to different places.
Yeah.
Different
disciplines.
Disciplines, exactly. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.